It's time for the Bookie and the Bettors Show. If you're a sports fan, now it's time to play the odds and make every bet count. New episodes post every Thursday on your favorite streaming service. Now introducing Rob Kowalski, the Bookie, and Randy Wike, the Bettor.
Hey, welcome to yet another episode of the Bookie and Better. I'm your host, Robert Kowalski, joined once again by my best friends, colleagues over at Baldini's Casino, Nick Schulte, Randy Wike. Gentlemen, it is gotten a little hot. And so why don't we cool things down by talking about some things that are easy for the listener, easy for me, easy for all of us.
You don't think the issues are going to get hot?
That's a you problem.
Oh, okay.
Once again, of course, we like to talk about all things sports betting. From the Book of Baldini's, here we are once again, downtown Reno, and we're really glad that you're joining us for this episode. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for joining us. You can find us here every single week on YouTube, of course, anywhere you get your podcast, wherever it may be. And here we are now into the results of game number 1 of the NBA Finals, and we've seen this before. The Celtics, as good a performance as you could find, they took the first game and covered. Game went under. We opened up game number 2, which is coming up this Sunday, the 9th. Celtics are 7-point favorite. Your mileage may vary across town, across state lines. The total, 214.5. The series price obviously has moved significantly as well, up into the minus 400 territory in most cases for the Celtics to win the next, 3 of 6 games is the way this entire series works itself out. Randy, anything surprising from game number 1?
No, I thought the layoff for both teams was going to be a problem. You always expect when you have a team that has 9 days off, another team that has 6 days off, one of them's going to be flat. I thought the under was a terrific play last night. I'm kind of shocked the game 2 total is only 214. You got 2 of the best scoring teams in the NBA.
Yep.
I expected game 1, and then obviously from the standpoint, the depth and obviously shot blocking was a key in this game. But Boston's going to be tough to beat with the depth they've got. And again, if you're just relying on the 2 boys from Dallas, it's going to be tough.
Actually, Nick, I was thinking about just that. Is this a different kind of NBA where we're seeing? I don't know how long ago. It wasn't far long ago when we saw a scenario where the NBA says, you get your best 3 players, and let's call it, NBA Jam Plus. Can Dallas somehow turn this around with?
I don't think so. I think this will be a closer game. I don't think Boston covers, but I think they win. I'd like the over, definitely. But just looking at, game 1, I saw the stat that, Boston had as many block shots as Dallas had assists. That's never a good stat line to have.
Nope. You're absolutely right, Nick. And so that's, again, a testament to how incredible a team defense we have on the Boston Celtics. I mean, Al Horford was playing in, like, the NCAA championships.
He's like 52.
2007.
39, or is he 39?
And he's out on the perimeter blocking, Luka Doncic's shots, which is absolutely still incredible. The shape these athletes are in is just, it's absolutely amazing to see how they could actually perform on a night-to-night basis.
But it showed again, Rob, last night. You shut down Luka and Kyrie, or at least let them get their points. Don't let anybody else get their points, and that's what happened. You brought up a minute ago. An NBA championship team has to have 3 scores, 3 scores every night. And it's going to be interesting to see if that comes to fruition for Dallas or not.
I think the real question is, do you think Dallas wins a game in this series?
Thank you. You first. Do they win a game here?
They win 1.
Okay. Randy?
I'm maintaining my 4-2 Boston.
4-2. So actually we see Dallas somehow picking up.
That swing on the road trip's going to be.
Right. In Dallas, it's going to be another story. I've got a feeling. So here's a wonderful question, right? And if you just do the math and you figure this out from a bookmaker's perspective, how does the Dallas Mavericks collectively win this championship? Is it on the back? So, let me present it in another way, Nick. Do the Dallas Mavericks win the NBA championship And, right, I'm going to speak in code here, Luka Doncic not win MVP.
No.
Randy?
No.
So, if that's the case, you can shop around and you could probably find Luka Doncic to win MVP of the series at plus 350 or give or take. They end up winning a game, right? The pricing makes itself out there. I'm just saying, if you find an instance where you could pick up Luka Doncic at plus 350 and now all of a sudden you got the Celtics to win the title, not at 400, but let's say minus 300.
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
It's all math, man.
Yep. I see what you're doing.
It's all math.
I just don't see. I just don't see the Dallas winning this one.
Right.
Well,
so
and Rob brought up last week, and I thought it's a great point. Boston is a better defensive team than you give them credit for.
It might be better defensively than offensively.
Yeah. And I think when I look back at the beginning of the year, and I kept saying, and which I still believe in my heart, that the Western Conference is better than the Eastern Conference. They're pretty dominant right now. And I have to admit, last night, they played defense. And again, you can say you're flat, you're not flat. They played defense.
Yep. It's like they're a brand new team with Kristaps Porzingis. A couple of my friends said they wanted to go and just throw a flyer on him to be MVP of the series at 35-1. Well, look at here. He's now 7-1 as MVP. So let me go out. Let's just look at the other side very quickly for our listeners at home. Celtics win. Who is the MVP of the series? Are you taking Tatum? Current pricing, by the way, at Baldini's. Tatum at plus a nickel. Jaylen Brown is plus 280, and Porzingis, as we said, 7-1. Or other.
I'm going Tatum.
And see, I'm going Brown. I think Jaylen, these next 3 games, he will go off.
Well done, gentlemen. Some other things that I noticed as we move out from NBA, I wanted to talk a little bit about hockey. The Stanley Cup finals are coming up. Saturday, game number 1. And it, of course, the team that made it to the Stanley Cup finals and lost to Vegas, the Florida Panthers, far bitter? They probably are bitter, but they're bigger, stronger, and faster. The Florida Panthers version that was in last year's playoffs came in, there were sprockets flying off of them, screws loose, tires coming off. Far, far healthier, far better than I've ever seen them play. And everything is working out in their favor in terms of the timing and when they're peaking. Edmonton, however, has quite possibly the best player on the ice on any given night. The question is going to be depth. And so when we laid out a number for this, it had to be Florida, the favorite. And then, of course, you could probably go ahead and debate whether or not you think that they should be this big a favorite. I got them game number 1, the Florida Panthers, $1.35 favorite to total 5.5 over a nickel. Obviously, playoff hockey, you're not going to see 6s and 6.5s, not at least in this version of it. And the Panthers to win the series about the same price as the price for game number 1. Panthers $1.40, $1.45, depending on where you shop around for that particular price. Randy, one-man show, take it in Edmonton, or are you backing the Florida Panthers depth?
First game, I have Florida 3-1. Again, I didn't know the total was 5.5. It's going to be very tough. Both goalies are good.
Yes.
Obviously, Edmonton has played extremely well during the playoffs, but I like Florida. And you talk about depth.
Right.
They have depth.
They've got the most depth, and it's like quality depth. It's every line has an opportunity to either shut down the team that they're facing, no matter what line Edmonton throws out. But look, after the season that Edmonton's had, they almost cracked 50 wins themselves with a pretty good lull in the middle of the season. But they came out, and here we are talking about, could this possibly be it? Randy, you had it one way. Nick, are we going to see a Canadian team raise the cup for the first time since 1993?
Well, my inside hockey guy said bet Edmonton, so I think that's going to be a yes.
I forget, once again, shopping around, if you're looking for a price on Edmonton, you go ahead and take a look. You could probably get anywhere between $1.25 is what you should expect, and don't get anything lower. Obviously, you know where to find all these prices. Book of Baldini's is going to offer you $1.25 as well on the Edmonton Oilers to win the series and to raise the cup this coming year. I want to stay with hockey. You guys know that the Arizona Coyotes, or Phoenix Coyotes, I guess, if you want to go a little bit deeper, no longer exist.
Yeah, I thought they moved.
They did.
Utah.
They moved to Utah. You guys hear about what the possible names are?
I did.
I've got finalists.
Ooh,
Nick,
six of them.
Nick, this is up your alley.
All over this one. What we got?
Tell me your favorite Utah name. The Utah Blizzard. The Utah Hockey Club. See what they did there with European football. Or Utah HC in some parlance. The Utah Mammoth. The Utah Outlaws. I like that one personally.
I like the next one.
The Utah. No, you don't like the Utah Venom.
I do.
You like the Utah Venom?
I do.
Venom?
Yeah.
There's not even a venomous creature in Utah.
But it sounds hockey-ish, doesn't it?
Venom and hockey.
I mean, do you want to go UCLA or Utah Mammoth versus Utah
Chris,
Venom?
We have our name for the episode. I want this episode to be called "It Sounds Venomish."
Venomish.
I like the Venom. Sounds like a hockey team.
The last one, though, was the one I think Nick's going to pick without putting words into his mouth. The Utah Yeti.
I would go with the Yetis all day long.
I like Utah Yeti.
I think I have. No, I have.
No, the socks. No, they're not.
I have my
matching.
Jaws socks on today, not my Yeti socks.
Adam Smith, I'm telling you what, the guy is creative. Watch out for what they do there. They're going to get that community roaring. That's why I like the Venom.
Okay.
And isn't this Grand Sierras?
This is the owner of the Grand
yes,
Sierras. This is his franchise, correct? Sahara / all of that venture. Didn't work out too well in Arizona, but let's hope for far better.
So is it going to be Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake City.
I'm assuming.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, no, I believe, I could be wrong, the hockey arena won't be done until 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
So this year they'll be playing at the Delta Center.
Correct.
I believe.
Yep, they will.
Yeah.
They will. They'll do fine there. Let's just hope they pick up more than 10 wins did last year, which could be a problem.
I definitely like the Yeti, though, after all.
Of course.
Venom?
Venom sounds like a hockey team. Like, go after them.
I'm big on names with...
They don't even have 5% alcohol in Utah.
Well, no, you got to belong to a club. That's part of the reason Randy Wike doesn't go there.
I like names without a plural derivative. Like,
You already lost me.
No, I didn't.
This is not English class. This is a podcast.
Okay, so look, it's whatever. The Golden Knights, the Blues, the Panthers, multiple instances of some item or object or living, breathing thing. Like the Utah Venom.
Is that a noun? Person? Okay.
Well, yeah. I just don't want it to be ending in a letter S.
Now you guys are really losing me here.
English is not my forte.
Okay,
English,
And yet you're on a talk show.
Go figure.
All right, so look, we gave our listeners some breakdown for game number 2 of the NBA and then your series price ideas for the NBA championship. We talked a bit about the Stanley Cup.
Dallas Mavericks, turn out the lights, the party's over.
Should have just gotten that out.
Yeah,
of the
I
way
thought
at
we
the start
could have
of
got
the
at least
episode.
one episode without that.
But it's there.
You got to start paying royalties?
I do.
I'm going to actually,
Is ASCAP or?
I'm not sure if that's BMI.
BMI or?
Don't hold me to this, okay?
All right, Randy, I found this one. I hit you with a surprise left. I think I'm going to hit you with a surprise right on this one. Gentlemen, it's getting bigger, and the creep is reaching all points. NIL is now in high school. Florida has announced their athletic association that they are going to allow high school students to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. It's now in many states with their own writings and scribblings on how this should be done. The one that I'm most excited about to share with you, Randy, is what Missouri did last year. Missouri says, yes, we're going to pay you. And as a matter of fact, there's a kid, his name, it's a defensive end. I think his first name is William. In any case, this was last year. Senior signed an NIL deal for $250,000 for 1 year. Why? Because of the way Missouri layered this legislation. You're going to get paid as a high school student. However, you have to play college football in the state of Missouri. Voila. Mizzou football wins. So you could start paying these kids as seniors, maybe even juniors. But in Missouri, you then have to play your collegiate sports in Missouri.
Is it a prepaid?
Yes.
Huh. What can possibly go wrong there?
What? And again, we're talking about kids.
No, I think that's a pretty big distinction because, I mean, if you're 17, wouldn't you need a parental guardian? You're not an adult. You can't legally sign.
You can't play amateur sports anywhere else. So once you sign this deal,
18,
you can't play amateur sports somewhere else. And I'm sorry, America, you have a young kid, doesn't know even really what the life is all about. We're giving him $250,000.
That's right.
What do you think this kid's going to do with that money?
It's going to be a great party.
He's going to put it into stunks.
I'm telling you, the mobs will be coming back because they're going to be coaxing these young kids, getting them into betting, scamming. Oh, yeah, you got me going. I don't know what we're doing with this country. I really don't. An athlete getting paid at a high school
Student
level.
athlete.
It's totally wrong. Shame on you. Shame on everybody for letting this happen. These are kids. They don't know how to handle money. Are they going to get agents when they're in high school?
Actually, they probably already have agents. Yes, correct.
I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed in America for letting this happen, and you can thank the NCAA for that.
I'm surprised it took me this long to find this article, by the way.
I will say, because I was all for it, because I always thought it just left a bad taste in my mouth when you had Nick Saban making $15 million a year and his top quarterbacks eating top ramen for dinner because that's all he can afford. That ain't right. But the way it's going now, this ain't right either.
And I don't want to get off the subject too much, but let's look at what's going on right now across professional sports with the illegal betting. And why is that? Because they're making a lot of money. So they have money to burn. Yet now they're betting on their own games. And you're going to mark my words. College sports is going to see it, and then if high school sports adopts it, you're going to see it in high school. They're going to start throwing games. Mark my words on this. It's the wrong thing to do.
I very much savor this switching of gears to illegal betting by pro athletes. I want to come back to that because I've got something to say.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think we were going to cover this one as well, but I'm very glad you did.
I think at what point, though, do we have an honest discussion? When do we take the physical man ref out of the game and let it all be AI? Because they can do it quicker, faster, better. They can do it. There's not going to be any BS calls. It'll always be the right call, the right time. And I think that would help curve some of this potential. I don't know how you have a guy that intentionally throws a pick or misses a shot. That's kind of hard to tell. But, at some point, I think you got to pull the refs out.
I'm appalled at what's going on in sports. I just really am.
William Nwareni, by the way, is the kid out of Missouri, and it's the valuation of the NIL is about $250,000. He was supposed to get it on prom night, May 4th of last year.
On prom night.
Yes,
prom night,
yes,
when
prom
he
night.
turns 18 years
I'm
of
sure
age.
you remember that prom night.
Well,
And
So-
I can't remember if I brought this up last week or not, but I remember seeing an article. I think it was Florida State offered a kid NIL money. I think it was $500,000, and then for whatever reason they backed out of it. And now he's suing Florida State and a few of their big boosters.
and he's going to win.
for that money, and it's just going to change this entire landscape.
If he's got it in writing somewhere, even if it's not a contract, he's
Yeah.
going to win.
Yeah.
Again, what have we done to the youth of college sports? I don't understand. Because you know what now? Is it about my teammates and the high school, the university? I bleed for those schools. That's done.
I don't care about schools anymore. It's where I'm getting paid.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is that
I
right?
mean, to play devil, that is capitalism. So, but
is that right? For us that went to college, is that right?
Listen,
I'm asking.
Please,
America, help me.
I'm presenting you.
if
what I
somebody
am
wanted to
reading.
pay me $500,000 a year, I'm not going to turn it down to play football or anything else. But
Honey, just give me 100,000 and I'll be happy. I'll stay with you for life.
I just think the way I envisioned it when all this was coming out, I thought it'd be some kind of a revenue share or a split. Because
Yes.
as a team does better, then they should do better.
Right.
It's a win-win.
Right,
But
and so that
the way
is the
it
new
is-
that's the new rule. It's a revenue share for these players, right? Randy was up in arms because I had to explain to him what the new rules are of engagement. how everyone is going to share in this revenue.
Well, 5 years from now, I'm not rooting for my alma mater. I got paid. I don't need to root for my alma mater anymore. It's just a school.
No, not at all. I want to come back to Nawarani very quickly in Missouri, because Missouri had the rule that stated, you're going to get paid as a high school student. Yay, awesome. Take advantage. However, you got to go play for the Tigers, the following season. What's to say, much like the way these rules look like right now, that, okay, sounds good, Mr. AD. I'll sign this. I'll take the money as a high school student, and then I will go to Missouri, play 1 year, and then I'll go to wherever I want.
And that's what's going to happen.
Missouri expects 4 years.
Yeah, I want to see, because that'll change. They'll take it to the courts, and that will change. I'm telling you, this is wrong. It's wrong. We're talking about 18, 17-year-old kids here.
That's right.
Terrible.
For those of you listening and can't see me, I am absolutely just enamored right now with Randy's. He is just absolutely whipped into a frenzy right now.
Now, wait a minute. I want to say, though, I will put this on, I'll preface this, okay? If you want to go back and pay me from in the 70s for my sports ability, which was pretty good back in those days, please, I encourage you, go back that far and start paying athletes.
Didn't you set some record for shots before the three-point line or something?
Oh, we didn't even have a three-point line. If we'd have had the three-point line nowadays.
I see what you did there, Nick.
Yeah. You know it, Reno Sparks, you know it. I would have lit him up.
Look, there's far more that we're offering here from a bookmaker's perspective at the Sportsbook at Baldini's. Of course, it's the playoffs and the championships at the NBA and the NHL. Baseball, of course, we're in full swing. We already know just how good some teams are and just how bad the Chicago White Sox are. Auto racing, tennis, of course. We've got the French Open.
Back to baseball. Did you see this last week again? Middle relief and the closers in Major League Baseball.
This is Randy's new hook, by the way.
They're all terrible. They are terrible.
How are you monetizing this, Randy?
Well, I'm just saying they were on pace to set a modern era record for the most blown leads after the fifth inning. They're going to have it by July.
All right. I don't know how you monetize that topic, but I'll go ahead and say this. If you find a way to bet live baseball.
In play, baby.
In play, and you see the Chicago White Sox winning any baseball game ever for the rest of this year, bet the other side for as much as you're comfortable with. And be that
they
$1
almost came back
$10.
and won last night, right? Did they lose 7-6?
The White Sox did lose. Yes, that's correct.
But
they were
very
good. They are very good at losing right now.
And I believe they had on 2 or 3 different occasions run on second and third, couldn't move them in.
Very, very good at losing.
Turn out the lights, party's over.
Try to keep them to one of those an episode, but here we go. College baseball, Randy. I'm not going to even venture to guess how you're going to pick a World Series winner here, or at the very least, a school that will be in the finals. When it comes to this sport, I know less than nothing, Randy. Small handful right now in your eyes?
Well, I love Tennessee. Yeah. And, watching Florida State this morning, they can hit. And I think Florida State's around 8. Tennessee is loaded. I was shocked last week when Vanderbilt got knocked out and Wake Forest got knocked out. Yep. But right now, I would put those two up there. It's hard for me to believe you won't see an SEC school in the final.
Live scoring as we look at it right now, it's already final. Florida State. They gave up 4 runs to UConn. Good job, UConn. Florida State scored 24.
Yeah. Jeez.
And Evansville right now at the wrong end of the stick, top of the 7th. Right now, Evansville down to the Tennessee Volunteers, 8-5, top 7.
Well, they're giving them a battle there.
Yeah. 24 runs in a baseball
college baseball. Not bad.
What's the over-under? 30.5?
It's actually 12 if you really wanted to know. They got it twice.
I watched it after the 5th inning. They remind me of Major League Baseball, the relief pitching. The first guy comes in and throws 4 balls, throw 2 behind the hitter, and then hits him.
Did he hit him on the 4th ball?
Yeah.
So, he's getting on base no matter what.
We do have regular football, not in the United States right now. Canadian football week number 1 started yesterday. It's going to be all throughout this week. And then, of course, the United Football League Conference Championships our Saturday and Sunday Panthers and
Are
Stallions,
the Alouettes favorite?
Brahmas.
I haven't even looked at the. Is Montreal the favorite to win it again? In
I would say if we're looking at your favorites, no.
They're not.
No. Either Edmonton
or Winnipeg, or
Winnipeg? No, not Winnipeg. If I had, you know what, Randy, I'll go ahead and put Montreal there as well.
Well, Nevada kid at quarterback was MVP during the Grey Cup last year, Cody Fajardo. I hope he has another great year.
Yes, he was. Not to mention, of course, to wrap up all these events that we have to offer, there's an awful lot. Whatever's out there right now that we could book, we're going to throw out there, be it football, auto racing, of course, is always going to be up there on a weekly basis. Tennis, golf, WNBA, of course. We're taking more bets on WNBA in the first 4 weeks than in all of our years in existence. That's 5 years as an independent book. Thanks, ABC. and thanks Rob, for everyone watching.
I've got to say this. Has there been a professional basketball player, other than really when Bill Walton came out of college, that has been bashed as much as Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
Today, there's 5 stories that, and basically they're gunning for. They're going to try to take her out on a pick. They're a little bit more strenuous with her as far as the opponents are, as far as trying to manhandle.
I mean, just curious, why? Just because she's so good, or is because they're pissed that
again? It's all about that NIL money and money. No,
well, look what she's doing for the sport.
Thank you. Right, actually, not for nothing, she's actually probably not even the best rookie in the class right now.
Yeah,
I actually like Cameron Brink an awful lot more. Yeah. Not to mention what Angie Reese is doing. And by the way, also, just in general, I don't think that the media is really covering WNBA, right? Just get over it, right? They play hard, right? They obviously want to all win. Just stop focusing so much on, the one woman, because it's, she's clearly really amazing, but it's not all about Caitlin Clark. So that's it. I'm done with that. I just want to say, keep playing and show me great competitive
sport.
And
I don't know if you guys seen Gino Ariama's comments today. No. And again, he thinks the whole league and the players are taking it out on her. And again, I don't want to get into she said, he said, but this Reese that played at LSU is a problem child in my mind for the WNBA. She's already making comments that she shouldn't be making. She's a rookie.
So?
Get over it. You got to learn the ropes before you can start doing it.
Same thing about NIL in
it's
my
a
opinion.
Classic poor sport, though. I mean, just like, I believe she's made the comment that, it wasn't just Caitlin Clark that made you guys all talk about WNBA and blah, blah, blah,
Well,
anybody that goes like, where's the ring?
Yeah.
Get out.
Well,
have some class.
Forearm and maybe the punch or two that was made from that LSU team back in the NCAA tournament they got away with. Anyway, that's another story.
Another league.
Yeah.
Another league.
The Tyson-Paul fight is back on. It was postponed from July 20th to now November 15th. One odd note that I saw is that it's actually a Friday night. Typically, boxing happens on a Saturday night, and I said, well, okay, what's happening here? We're in football season. Let me dig a little bit deeper. AT&T Stadium is still the location. Yep, Dallas Cowboys playing a Monday night football game at home, so ain't going to have a boxing match on Saturday night with 24 hours to clean up the place, so they moved it to Friday. You know what? It's still an event. It's still going to be at a great venue. Let's see it happen now. So,
well, and all the hype this week was that Roy Jones was going to take Tyson's place. So you're going to have Roy Jones fighting.
Yeah, no.
I know, but all the hype was going that way. And then, of course, you had Jones maybe doing a little smack talking with Jake Paul. And it sounds like Jake Paul can hold his own with these kind of word thrashing of the opponent.
If Roy Jones actually fought, he actually probably could get knocked out in the first 3 rounds. I really, really think that.
And the odds are still Jake's the favorite, right?
$2. I know. Hey, now I just have to wait and see.
What am I not seeing?
I know. I understand. I understand.
I did look at the video. The video of Tyson working out at 58.
Oh. Now we got, this is the last we'll probably talk about it for the rest of the summer because it's going to be a long ways away.
If I would have started working out like he did, maybe I could have had the body like his in 50s. It's amazing.
You're a funny man, Randy.
I'm going to take the under on that one.
Tonight is the last episode with Pat Sajak as host of Wheel of Fortune.
What about Vanna?
Nothing about Vanna.
Okay.
This is all we know is that Ryan Seacrest will be the new host of
course,
of Wheel of Fortune, whether you like it or not.
Let's do a morning talk show, and now I'm going to the prime time.
No, he can do anything he wants. He gets the rating, so it doesn't matter if you like him or not. Are you going to watch Pat Sajak's last Wheel? And why not if you want?
What time does that come on?
Later tonight. You know it always comes on either before or after
Well, no,
Jeopardy.
I don't because I don't watch it, but what is he, 92?
Are we going to let, I mean, look, clearly I'm going to go ahead and just say right now, Alex Trebek, Bob Barker.
Yep, legends. I agree.
Pat Sajak.
They're the three.
Put them on Mount Rushmore right now. Who are we leaving out? Can we possibly put in Millionaire? I mean, I don't know. What's the last one?
Martindale's got to be somewhere in there, right?
Winks?
And Monty Hall?
Monty Hall. There we go. Nick's eyebrows just went up, but actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and put a placeholder for Monty right for now.
Joe Rogan for Fear Factor?
On that note, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. That was a lot of fun, guys. Honestly, thank you again for coming on out. If you like what you
Get rid of this NIL money.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us. See you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Bookie and the Bettors Show. New episodes post every Thursday on your favorite streaming service.